to know. Let me check my volume. I knew it. And the sound, I knew it. There, now it's better. So let me take this over again, okay? That's the way it is. Welcome to No Enemies Here, the show where love me or hate me, I'm on every Saturday morning, or every Friday night at midnight, or Saturday morning at midnight. It's that hazy second right after Friday before Saturday type thing. What do you want? Hey, we got a good show tonight. All the boys are in except Kilroy. He tells me he's too busy. He tells me he's got things to do. He's got a family, this and that. What do you want me to tell him? You know what I mean? Huh? You know, you have one job. It's to get me a video. What does he do? Okay. Ricardo's in the house. And that's just fun in of itself. And also, Worthington Publishing just put out 2 Solitaire mini games, I guess. And I'm gonna show you the vids here. They didn't ask me to put up the vids. I'm putting them up because, hey, I like those guys. I like their games, and you know, any press is good press. So check this out, and I'll be back later. I told you they look pretty cool. I think they're very cool. It's on Kickstarter right now. Go check it out. Worthington Publishing. The name of those 2 games, The War of 1812 and The Pacific War 1942. Both Solitaire games. Fantastic company, doing a lot of Solitaire games. It's a Stigler type of company. And so, look, with that, that's the news. Also, we have San Diego HistCon Winter 2024. So registration is open, but tickets are limited, it says here. Stop by the link. Join them from 10 a.m. General Mountain Time across the globe to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, 18 hours of historical games, biggest thinkers and most interesting prototypes. They have a media marketing master here. This year we are celebrating Rally the Troops as the great Volko Runke teaches us how to use that system for a few of his titles. See other luminaries like Mark Herman, Liz Davidson, Dan Turod, Jason Matthews, John Butterfield, Ed Beach, and Uli Blenheim, or Blenman, or Blenheim, I'm sorry, Uli, and many others share what they're working. Many others share what they are working on and what they're thinking about. So see the entire listening event on that link. Register, and that's the San Diego HISCON Winter 2024, February 3rd. And that's the quick and easy news. We're gonna go on to Ricardo after this fine message.
Hello, this is Riccardo Masini, and this time the best day in history and games is February 17th, 1979, the first day of the Vietnam War, but not that Vietnam War you are all thinking about. This time it is a war between Vietnam and China. This time it is the third Indochina War. The history of this war is a history of progressively worsening relations between China and Vietnam. We begin with a substantial accord between the two countries, or at least between the two groups in power of those two countries. Why? Because during World War II, the Kuomintang, that is the nationalist party led by General Chiang Kai-shek, actually the Chinese in the nationalist party actually backed the French in the colonial domination of Indochina. Also, it favored the return of the French to Indochina because of its great ties with the Allies. While the communist Chinese, led by Mao Zedong, actually backed the Viet Minh Party, that is the independentist party of Vietnam that sought independence from the French. During the first Indochina War, that is the conflict with Dien Bien Phu, just to be clear, during the first the first Indochina War, China backed absolutely with no reserves Ho Chi Minh in a struggle against the French domination, and so there was a very closely tied relation between China and Vietnam. The situation somewhat changed in between, just after the end of the first Indochina War. Why? Because the death of Stalin prompted the reaction of progressive de-Stalinization of the Soviet Union, led by Khrushchev. And while Ho Chi Minh favored that process, favored Khrushchev, Mao Zedong did not, so China did not support this process of de-Stalinization, creating the famous Sino-Soviet split. And in this split, Vietnam was with the Soviet Union. And then came the Second Indochina War, that is, the Vietnam War, the war against the US and the South Vietnam. China's support was present but less pervasive as Soviet support, which was much stronger. And many think that the Soviet Union by then considered Vietnam actually as a useful, very useful counterweight in the area against China. So Vietnam was unified, of course, after the Vietnam War, but it had just cold support of China, this unification. Things got incredibly worse after a turnabout of China with the visit of Nixon in China and the new leadership by Deng Xiaoping, which opened China to reforms and a progressive rapproach with the US, with the Western world. And Vietnam was totally left out of the equation. In the early 1970s, Vietnam was actually more and more isolated. In that period, China backed Cambodia, the Cambodian regime of Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge, and the Vietnamese could not stand that. They considered that as an act of Chinese expansion, of the expansion of Chinese sphere of influence in the area, so they actually invaded Cambodia. And during that invasion, there were also acts of cruelty, atrocities against the Chinese minority in Cambodia. China warned Vietnam about that invasion, and after a long dialogue with the US, essentially aiming at gaining US neutrality, China began active preparation to actually invade Vietnam, to punish Vietnam for its expansion into China-backed Cambodia. After numerous border clashes, as I said, Vietnam invaded Cambodia, and in 1978, and just after a few months later, in February 1979, the Chinese invaded Vietnam with the pretense of the Vietnam's invasion of Cambodia, the mistreatment of minorities, and also the occupation of the Spratly Islands by Vietnam. The Chinese invasion was actually limited. They could not use the full force of the army because also they had to border to guard the northern border, because China actually feared that was the state of relation of a counter invasion by the Soviet Union, which backed Vietnam. So he had to maintain part of the army in the north. However, the Chinese plan had two main directions of attack, in the western part and the eastern part of Vietnam. All the northern Vietnamese provinces were interested in the operations. Cao Bang, Lao Cai, and Lang Son were among the main objectives. And while the Vietnamese border forces and local militias were initially decimated, more and more Chinese troops were faced with Vietnamese guerrilla tactics that they are actually quite perfected against the Americans and the South Vietnamese, and suffered more and more severe losses. The fall of Lang Son that happened after a few weeks actually opened the way towards Hanoi, but the Vietnamese had the time, again, the time to gather 30,000 regular troops, with the regular divisions in the area ready for a counterattack. So a stalemate developed. China's advance towards the enemy capital city was possible, absolutely, but it will be very costly. It is at that moment that the Chinese government declared the expedition to be ended, claiming that they had just the possibility of overthrowing the Vietnamese government. They just did not do that because they did not want to escalate the situation. But at the same time, the Vietnamese claimed that their assassin had weakened the enemy and that convinced them to retreat. The war ended just a month after its beginning, with both sides claiming a victory. The fact is that the Chinese were quite large in number of troops, of course, but they fought with very inferior equipment compared to the better hardened Vietnamese troops that used Soviet provided Soviet equipment, but also captured American equipment and also newly provided Soviet assets, especially in the intelligence sector. The declared limited nature of the war convinced, however, the Soviet leadership to avoid a direct confrontation with China, but it was a very delicate situation. In the end, the war could be considered a tactical stalemate, an operational victory for Vietnam, but a very important strategic victory for China, because Vietnam was overstretched. It had to border to get its northern provinces that were devastated, and the economy devastated, and had to resort to greater and greater Soviet support from then on. And also its invasion of Cambodia was very much more difficult. A delicate balance and counterbalance in East Asia, then, with consequences in the relation between China and Vietnam continuing up to the present day, just from that fateful day in 1979. This is a world conflict, perfectly recreated by a very peculiar game, Brief Border Wars by Brian Train. Now, it is actually a quad game, so it is a game with more scenarios, with 4 scenarios. The Chinese scenario in that system is possibly the most wargaming of them all. There's a very linear conflict, open conflict, with this very strict east and west direction separation. But it is also a game about a very asymmetrical warfare. And this is also highlighted by the fact that it is a card assisted game. So you play your cards as to say how many troops move, how many fight. You have to choose at every time. Also, the special rules for the scenarios introduce very special, specific events, and through simple rules for movement and combat, you have a very fast playing game. 1 or 2 hours maximum per scenario, but a game that really accurately recreates these political military conflicts with a lot of political and diplomatic considerations into them. There's not just a purely kinetic simulation. We have 4 scenarios. We have Chinese invasion of Vietnam, as we said. We have Cyprus, the football war in South America, and also Palestine. Also, we have another title incoming in this series that will be about very interesting conflicts between the 2 world wars, World War I and World War II. So I really like the system. The system is by Brian Train, so it is a guarantee. And it's very simple, but it's very, very effective in recreating such peculiar conflicts. Absolutely. A very special game about a conflict that has its effects felt even today, but the confrontation about China and Vietnam over the very same islands and regarding several other islands in South China Sea. But that's another story, and possibly that's another war game. So that's it for this time. See you on the next battlefield. Ciao.
This week on 6 Actual, we look at Escape from Stalingrad Z from Raybox Games. Although not technically a war game, this sci-fi hybrid setting is the Battle of Stalingrad, 1942. In the City of the Dead rise up. Russians and Germans join forces to kill zombies. Only on 6 Actual.
6 Actual.
And here we get to the crux of the show, and I'm going to start off by saying, relax people, take it easy, and watch these two fantastic presenters of movies called Newcastle After Dark. And they're schlocky type of movies, this and that, but sometimes they're a lot of fun. Actually, most of the time there's a lot of fun. Like, look at that. From a Whisper to a Scream, The Cat Creature, and Spectre plus The Legacy. Hey man, I watched The Legacy, and I actually had a good time. So it's Newcastle After Dark, check it out. A lot of fun, no one gets hurt. Artie of ARDWULF'S Lair has 4 videos this week. Episode 158 of Counterclipping, Learning and Teaching Wargames, plus The Chit Show, The Joy of Wargaming, with Mark Ruggiero. The Chit Show's with Dan and Artie. I'm Dan. And Mark the Boss Ruggiero is him, and Artie the Boss Artie is himself. Also, 2 other videos of Opening Night with Harold and Friends, plus Wrap-Up Show. This is the San Diego HistCon. This is upcoming for the Winter Quarters 2024 con that's going to be happening via internet. I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. Cutesy Pootsy, Zilla Blitz, 3 videos, solo war games, the Manila the Savage Streets, I should say. This is a World War II board game. Also a channel update and the Battle of Calandale, or Gaul, another World War II war game on Zilla Blitz. The man who looks like a vampire, Mark Felton of Mark Felton Productions. 4 videos, from Borman Secretary to British Housewife, Hitler Bunker Escaper, whatever. And then the Hitler Wannabe, Dutch Quisling, Mussert. Luftwaffe pilot defects in stolen Messerschmitt 109, and the Scumbag, The Death of Hitler, the complete series. This guy is a rat. He's a weasel. He's a weasel. Look at him. He looks like a weasel. I mean, I probably wouldn't have told him that to his face. Other if I wasn't his face and I was wanting to commit suicide by attempting to assassinate him, then I would tell him. What can I tell you? Hi, Herr Himmler. I've come to assassinate you. Goodbye. The Tank Museum. How to survive a nuke in a tank. Or can you survive a nuke in a tank? This man will tell you. 21 Novo Games and Emanuela Sant'Andrea has Andy Lokes interview. Check it out. Emanuela doesn't often do these interviews, so this is a bonus for us. Tabletop Sci-Fi has 2 videos. I'll have a coffee with my tabletop game, plus Double Star, a GDW game review, and how to play. This is a game from 1979, and he goes through it. Trust me, he does. Tikanis George Chiotis, everything ASL. He has an advanced squad leader, top 5 foobar moments. Also, Kesserling's War reveal, and the second front, Gazala. Oh, Trudeau and Malakas. I don't know if he's trying to say something about our Prime Minister, but what can I tell you? And then he shows us how to cook bacala. He says, don't be a Bobby Bacala, eat your stew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's bacala. Bacala's cod. And that's it. George cooks. See you later, George. Fighting still. The Cop, that is Wayne Hansen, 4 videos. On his recon, that is an unboxing of Target for today. And then he plays Target for today. Then the verdict for Target for today. And then he starts another recon with the Savage Streets 1945, a solitaire game on Wayne Hansen's channel. Combat Board Games, 2 videos. Strange SPI games, Dallas the RPG. But wait, he says, Dallas the RPG. Yeah. Hey, you know, I could see it. Plus, Strange SPI Games Volume 2 Time Tripper. And I have it, and I haven't played it yet, and I can't wait to play it, because I want to trip with Don, is it Don Greenwood? Or is it Red Simonson who did this game? Bah. The Boss! Clark Commando 1983, Mark Ruggiero, 4 videos. Axis Empires Ultimate Edition, 4 players. He says he loves this game. Love, 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 love. You should check out the Chit Show with Dan and Artie. I'm Dan. And Mark, a great interviewee to have. Lots of fun. We had a lot of laughs. Check it out. Talks about this game. And then as I prep from some of what's next game-wise, here are a few of his World War I books. Then the gamer's trip down memory lane and remembering our fallen fellow gamers. And how he preps for a game of La Bataille from Clash of Arms or Marshall Enterprises Final. All this on the Boss's channel, Clark Commando 1983, Mark Ruggiero. Castle Archon has a crackdown, a gaming collection crackdown. Check it out. This is what it's about on Castle Archon. For our Spanish viewers, the 7th Beota Con on Julius Fairfax channel. STUKAJOE was there. Julius Fairfax here, probably, I haven't seen this video, but he's probably talking about what STUKAJOE was talking about, but differently. You know what I'm saying? On Julius Fairfax channel. Warrior plays World War II, and he is the Hugh Hefner of war games, and he's looking at 2 Barbarossa game maps, GMT and MMP. Well, I could probably tell you what the MMP is, and the GMT is a biggie wiggy with a banana. On Warrior plays World War II. That great channel that is History Hustle is looking at Serbia during the First World War and other minor belligerents that were in that war. This is what this video is about. KilRoy of KilRoyWasHere, 8 videos. I should say 7, but it's okay. Coffee with KilRoy, you know that's my favorite spot that he does. Panzer Shrek issue 20, Winters 2024. That's a Minden publication, plus Coffee with KilRoy, Tales of War, Strike Hard. And Siege of Khartoum. This is THGC, the historical gaming company. After action report and gameplay discussion on this sci-fi fantasy Saturday, Siberian Impatience. And then Sanctuary Sunday, bowling, and my grandmother. We just spoke, I'd say about an hour ago, excuse me, and he was talking about this, and he was saying how he used to love playing with his grandmother. So gaming goes way back there with KilRoy. Also, Red Baron Wargamer number 48, unbagging and page turn this bloody April. And Gallipoli Game and Movie, a special KilRoy goes to the movies. Really, yeah, I gotta check out the Gallipoli movie. Plus, They Shall Not Pass, Avalanche Press, and Exploration. All of this goodness on KilRoyWasHere. Gilbert Collins, my paisan from back there, the outstanding components to Uwe Valentins, Yale, Ilau, 1807, Ilo, 1807. You know, I'm a little bit under the weather. What do you want? Check it out on Gilbert Collins' channel. And the face that only a mother can love, the Chief Bart Brunsheen of Bonding with Board Games and RPGs is doing a live Maze Rats number 23. Meet Abel or Artun and a trip to Smitty's co-op solo RPG on bonding with board games and RPGs. Ben Harsh of Harsh Rules is breaking down board games. Learn to play with easy rules, and it is an Empire of the Sun. This is a Mark Herman tour de force, and it's a rules breakdown. It's Empire of the Sun Part 3, and he's talking about Offensive Phase A. And you know what? He explains it extremely well. If I can understand it, trust me, anybody can. Check out Ben Harsh with his myriad playthroughs and learn to play with easy rules on Ben Harsh's channel. The name of the game, 2 videos. How to play War of the Ring, the character game. Plus how to play Hero Quest, part 6 of 8, Castle of Mystery, and Bastion of Chaos. On the name of the game. Oh! Of Mo's Game Table has 1 video, and it is Red Strike storage tips. Yes, these videos do help. You might say, what storage? No, they help because they help you close the box. Yeah? Okay, we'll see. When it happens to you, you give me a call. Storm of Steel Wargaming 2 videos, Rommel Kursk Battle Report, and Rommel Rules Review of said game on Storm of Steel Wargaming. The Professor Riccardo Mazzini, 2 videos, with it or on it. This to me looks like a HOLLANDSPIELE game, and I'm right. And then he has the same video for our English listeners, because the first one is for our Italian viewers. And thank you, Riccardo. I appreciate your monthly contribution. I think it's fantastic. I think people love it. Allora, continua per piacere. Grazie. Hissy Cat Senjutsu Battle for Japan. This is a game by Paul Dallin and James Faulkner. Sounds like the guy who did The Exorcist. William Faulkner? Nah, I'm probably wrong. Friedkin. See? I know what was wrong. On Hissy Cat Studios. Pushing Cardboard 2 videos. On to Richmond 2. An unboxing. And District Commander Bin Din unboxing. Bin Din. That is a game by HOLLANDSPIELE. I remember, yes, on Pushing Cardboard. The General, Smitty of Smitty's Game Table. Smitty gives you a fresh look at the board war game East Front. This is an Ares game, and it's a Quartermaster General system. East Front. Look, some people like this game, man. You know, I haven't played it, but I will. The War Room has 3 videos. Starts off with The Thing 2022 review on Tabletop Simulator, plus 5 games I will play more in 2024, and Axis and Allies 50th anniversary for 2024.
For the final Wednesday in January 2024, the monthly Speak Out and Play podcast will discuss the current state of wargaming from my point of view. Plus, I will also expand more about the Warfighter Universal Rulebook and its future. In addition, the podcast will include what is coming up on the Seek Out and Play YouTube channel for the month of February, and I finish with how all of us can go forward in the hobby, along with expressing our view of wargaming in general. Check out previous podcasts on Buzzsprout, Spotify, and on the Seek Out and Play YouTube channel. I also post new videos and announcements on my Facebook and X pages. Plus, if you want to support my efforts to improve the channel, you can visit my Patreon page as well. Seek Out and Play releases a new video each week, so I will see you next Wednesday.
In this hall are dedicated monuments to men of property, other people's property. Here is enshrined the champion of them all, Adolf Hitler, the greatest conqueror of all time. He is the...
One moment, please. Adolf Hitler, pretty good, all right. Take 2 million square miles. But gentlemen of Japan, much better. Form greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere. Knock off over 3 million square miles. Lots more than Hitler. Soon make better record. Extend honorable empire. Take California, South America, Brooklyn, Europe, take whole world. Take whole world.
This is about Sato-san, an average Japanese. He is the most regimented man in the world. He must follow rules and regulations for everything. Bowing, drinking tea, even committing suicide. And if Sato-san does any thinking, he must use government-approved thought. Special detectives track down any unregimented thinkers. These thought policemen arrest 20,000 people a year for thinking wrong thoughts. This was September 1923, date of the great Japanese earthquake. Japan lay stunned.
Tokyo calling. Tokyo calling. Huge fires. Cities in ruins. Rush. Relief at once.
We answered the SOS. American warships loaded with food, medicine, clothes rushed to Japan. The Japanese people wept with joy. Their military leaders were honorably grateful. Newspapers expressed their gratitude.
From America, the help is the quickest and the largest. God forbid that there should be another war. But if it comes and America is attacked, Japan shall array her might against that criminal. He who attacks America shall die. Tokyo, Nichi Nichi, 1923.
Yes, he who attacks America shall die.
Dave of Dave's Gaming Cave, 2 videos this week, both on the same subject, and it is the 20th Air Force 2nd Edition, September to December 1944, and January to April 1945, I should say, on Dave's Gaming Cave. Indian Idol's fantastic channel on the whole World War II, and we are on week 283, and here comes that weasel again. Himmler takes command, January 27, 1945. Then there's the sad story of Churchill's Iceman, Jeffrey Pike. World War II documentary special on spies and ties, and the last days of Auschwitz on the War Against Humanity, episode 126, on Indian Idol's channel, World War II. And if you have never seen that channel, you are missing something if you're a World War II aficionado, I should say, or have interest in World War II. Because he goes week by week from day one, that is 1939, September 1st, I think, all the way. And I think he goes back sometimes and forth. And great. I wouldn't even say summary, because it's not a summary. It's quite detailed. And great reference. Steve indulges 4 videos, and they are all on the game Arakur, and it's a battalion combat series game. He does turns 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 with a side of fries, he says, plus turns 10 to 13, the finale and the post-mortem of the MMP game Arakur on Steve Indulges' channel. ID Jester, what can I tell you? He's busy, right? 8 videos only. He does Liberty or Death. He has a live chat with Herman Lotman. God, I love Herman. Plus, Payoff Pitch San Diego, the baseball. He does football. Jester's Judgment Reviews of the Week, episode 5. And monthly board game recap. Plus, Open the Box, Tanto Monta, and another baseball video, this time with the Blue Jays. On ID Jester. Cody of the Discriminating Gamer has 3 videos, and it's fairies and magical creatures on one of them. Then Knee Deep in Hexes is a preview, and Iron, Blood, Snow, and Mud, I can only think Stalingrad, on the Discriminating Gamer. Nanguaya has 4 videos, and it's all on the Weltkrieg. 3 of them are, and one is picked up some things after a guided tour of the World War II exhibit at the Canadian Museum, which I am still to go there, but life rears its ugly head. Sorry, I shouldn't even apologize, but sorry, because whatever. And I will be going, because I've spoken to the people in charge, and they've offered me help, maybe a guided tour. Now all I want to do is go around, check it out, take some nice pictures, upload it here for a couple of episodes of the Canadian War Museum. For our Italian listeners, Mauro Faina, 2 videos of Il Giannizzero Nero, and both videos talk about Sekigahara 1600 unboxing and introduction, and it is not the my god, what's his name, Sekigahara, Matt Culkin. It's not Matt Culkin's game. On Mauro Faina's channel. Respect with Jim Ozarski, the Battle of Gross-Gorshin 4 for General d'Armée, and the Battle of Isandlwana for the men who would be king. North of Khan for I Ain't Been Shot, Mom, and plus the Battle of Gross-Gorshin 5 for General d'Armée on Jim Ozarski's channel. And these videos are lengthy and a lot of people watch it. Charles Latorre, 8 videos. Charles, what the hey? Man, you got a shot of energy there, man. So, what scale are the fences? Tall for 15s, short for 28s. We're talking miniatures here. And Mini Wart Mutt Challenge, he says, I'm done. 121 figures, no mass, no more, he says. Shelf number 2 Napoleonic, OSG, Avalon Hill, and Revolution games, and some MMP games. He shows you around. Then his incomplete gaming shopping pre-order list. Holy moly. And Torpedo Raiders, Minden, Solitaire, Minis, make it more fun. Minden games. That is Gary Graber. And Antietam through turn 2. Turn 1 was redone due to some oops. Okay, then he does the Waterloo, Bismarck Solitaire, a Worthington book game. Bismarck, Waterloo, onto Moscow. Okay, the three Solitaire book games. And he says it does rain in San Diego, day 2. Now I know where you live, Charles. Come on over. Kings and Generals, 3 videos, and early Muslim expansion, Europe, North Africa, and Central Asia, and how Ukraine lost and liberated Kherson, Russian invasion. These are both documentaries, and how Indonesia defended against the Mongols. Medieval history on kings and generals. Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials, Combat Commander Resistant, a Chad Jensen expansion. This is Scenario 69 of Combat Commander. And it's a campaign, Scamaroni 2. I mean, look at this guy. Okay, look at this guy. He's got a stun gun, right? A British stun gun. And he's in the Resistance, right? Because it's a very famous picture. And look how suave he is. The Frenchmen, even go into battle looking good. Check this guy out. Man, you gotta love him, man. You gotta love him. The Gentlemen of the Player's Aid have 4 videos this week, and they are unboxing Bismarck Solitaire Deluxe by Worthington Publishing, plus a flight to Arras, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, from cover to cover. That is the Saint-Antoine d'Exupéry. He did The Little Prince, and then he was shot down. And we know which person shot down. It was a German pilot, and he was 90-something years old when he told the world that he shot down Saint-Exupéry. Hey, that's war, man. Plus, a Phalanx game called Triumph, I should say, and review of Aces of Valor by Legion War Games. The man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Vaglino, has 8 videos, while Blue Yonder review a Deutsch Africa Corps intro plus Dallas intro, the role-playing game by SPI. Then he does DAC 40 September 1, DAC September 2nd, and then plays another game called Nero with an intro and a first turn on Calandale's channel. Smart War Games, 8 videos, and it's High Strategy Oradros on Steam. These are all video games. 7 days custom campaign. He does more. Defending Remagen, Battle for Avdivka in Ukraine. This is real. And Winter Gewitter. And I don't know. It's in German. I can't pronounce that very well. He's got Icebreakers Showcase and more of Combat in Remagen on Smart War Games. U-Boater 658, 3 videos, and it's Decision Games Battles in the East. The northern flank is gone, he says. Then a Lock and Load, a Wing and a Prayer initial review and a mission setup, and then mission number 1, Cherbourg, with AI narrative at the end. That's very interesting. U-Boater 658. Timothy Phelps checks out Lord of the Rings, a living card game, Invaders in Chetwood. So this living card game, that means it keeps updating itself. Right. Okay. Sean Lambert looks at Bitter Woods, full gameplay episode 2, then a T16 teaser 3,000 Volks Grenadier versus 30,000 comrades of the 11th Army. Okay. On Sean Lambert. Hexed Encountered 3 videos in its Jutland 2nd edition first look base game and expansion, then Enemy Action Kharkov Soviet solo gameplay, and third option DVG's first look on Hexed Encountered. Simple History 2 videos. Weirdest attempts to cross the Berlin Wall. This is from 1961 to 1989. What a sad state of affairs that is, you know. And do soldiers really shoot to kill? Okay. I thought so. No? Military 1945 2 videos, and it's a German newsreel. Monatschau 11 1943 Spanish Blue Division. Plus the German newsreel of the Monatschau, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which I'm not, 12, 1943, on Military 1945. And my favorite Frenchie Fred Serval of Homo Ludens is looking at Sancore, the history behind the board game on Homo Ludens. The war game artist Matt White Wargames has 2 videos, and it's the Norman Conquest unboxing and initial impression. This is a GMT game. Plus the Battle of Wagram unboxing and initial impression. And obviously this is a Napoleonic game on Matt White Wargames, the artist of World War II. I should say the war game artist. What artist of World War II? My Own Worst Enemy 2 videos, Battles of the American Revolution, Utah Springs, turn number 4, and Prelude to Vicksburg Chickasaw Bayou unboxing. Is this a new one? It's from Revolution Games. Yeah. Agility Snips Gaming Table. 4 videos. A solo playthrough part 2 of Jeremy White's fantastic Atlantic Chase, plus Fields of Fire Mission 2 playthrough part 9, a Ben Hall game published by GMT, going back to the solo playthrough part 3 of Atlantic Chase, and then he takes a look at Silent War / IGN 2nd edition, of which I have, thank you very much, playthrough and TTS mod expansion. For our Polish viewers, Wojennik TV Michel has 3 videos, and it's Halls of Hegra, 2 videos on Halls of Hegra, and another video on Footprints. This is in Polish. I cannot elaborate more than that. It's an alien language to me. But our Polish listeners will decipher this on Wojennik TV.
Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. This is my weekly channel update, along with some coverage of new directions for the channel in 2024. This will be a little longer than my normal update, but not too much. I gotta respect your time. So 3 poll items. One was about t-shirt design. It was definitely a favorite, but I'll probably work on this design. Another, we'll also look into putting the designs on mugs, but nothing's going to be produced until the channel reaches 1,000 subscribers. So nothing will come soon in that regard. Another poll had to do with simplifying the channel content, reducing the amount of different kind of things, and hands down, 74% out of the 27 people that voted for this, 3/4 of you said, cut out the food videos. So we're cutting out the food videos. I might sneak in one a year, something like that. A number of you, 1/6, also said less game and book guides. They're a lot of work for me, but I do like giving away my spare games and things, so we will still have them. We'll reduce them to maybe once a quarter, 4 or 5 a year, probably give away less per time, 1 or 2 games per. Maybe December might still be a big Christmas time, multiple game giveaway. But that'll help simplify the channel, concentrate on the core stuff. The next question in the polls was about unboxings. Now, I'm going to still do like 1 unboxing a week on average, 0, 1, 2. But by far, over 2/3 of you, of the 31 who voted, historical war games. That's where you guys want to do that. So relative to other stuff, we will increase those. Definitely, very few of you, one of you, wanted to see the Euro games and the strategy games and such. We will cut those out almost completely, except there was still 160 of you that wanted to see solo games. So we will try to find some family-type Euro strategy games that are solo and cover those. Some of you wanted to see miniature games. We won't completely cut those out. I will be cutting down on miniature, like painting content. I'll talk about more of that in a little bit, but more unboxings of historical war games relatively, but still be about the same total amount, about 1 per week. So let's look here now at my normal weekly updates. So you can see down here 5 videos, last week's weekly update. My list for 2024, the War Room 10-game challenge. They're the group of guys that casts on Saturday's live stream. ID Jester, Tony's Board Life, and Rough Swordsman Board Game. So I finished my 2023 challenge. Here's my 2024 list there, if you want to check that out. It's too late to sign up for 2024. You missed the deadline. But if you're interested in that and maybe inspire you for committing to a certain number of games, check that out. There's my last video for the painting challenge for January. I did one last week. So, like I said, less miniature painting. I'll probably only do 1 more painting challenge for the year. I've already finished 1. So you won't see as many miniatures on the channel this year, unless maybe I play a miniature, actual, like a dungeon dweller board game or something like that, that you might see my minis come out then. So this next one here is a how to play, a little history and playthrough of Battle of Baton Rouge from the Historical Game Company, 1779. This is my first game of the year for the War Room's 2024 Challenge. So if you're interested in American Revolution War in the West, there you can watch the Spanish kicking some butt of the British there. So that's my weekly channel update and directions. Like I said, I will be coming out with some more poll items next week to further refine the direction of the channel to give you guys the kind of content that you want to see. So sending it back to you, Dan, and all the people watching. No one who's here. Take care and ciao.
Another week, another show. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this channel, support this channel. Hey, man, I hope you had fun. I had fun. I hope your Friday night or your Saturday morning or afternoon or your Sunday, I hope I've made it a little bit better. And with that said, watch a lot of these reviewers, these content creators. It's a lot of fun. I sit down in my smoking room, excuse me, because I do have a smoking room, where I can light up my pipe, have my Marmite tea, or some genmaicha tea, because I like that oily tea, the Japanese tea. I like that stuff, okay? And, or a beer or whatever, a scotch or whiskey. And I watch Single-Handed Warfare, I watch Omori Dens, I watch Matt White, My Own Worst Enemy, I even watch Wayne Hanson, the cop. I'm always joking. And it's always fun, and makes me feel like I'm part of the family. And I hope I've done a little part in bringing the war game community a bit closer. I hope so. I mean, my intention is to bring you the news, but also to have a good time and get to know everybody as much as I can. It's just a lot of fun. And I am who I am, man. Like me, don't like me. This is it. What can I tell you? Be nice, even if you don't like me. Be nice. There's no need to be a turd. Just be nice. Be nice to everybody. And you'll see how nice is. Nice.